Hey everybody, Coach Toolshed here, and today's video is not going to be discussing how to throw felines up in the air live on stream. That is not the purpose of today's video. Today what we're going to be discussing is a couple of different issues that have happened over the last couple of days and how they are connected. Of course, as always, we got to discuss the conversation surrounding what has been going on. Now, what am I talking about? Well, we have a couple of different things that have happened. First, Rockstar has put out a literal casino into Grand Theft Auto Online, and I want to discuss that. And secondly, we had some news come out from the UK Gambling Commission this week. They had a ruling discussing some of the nonsense that we've heard from some of the companies, especially EA, talking about surprise mechanics, and the UK Gambling Commission has now discussed the fact that they are not going to come down in favor of the gamers here because they have decided that since these loot boxes don't have any real-world monetary value, you can't sort of cash them out per se. They are not actually gambling, according to them. And of course, the industry chuckles with glee. And even worse, the industry apologists, the corporate talking heads in the games media, is sitting there cackling, saying, "See, we told you guys, this isn't gambling. They just said it's not gambling. Har, har, har." You can see plenty of articles written over the last 24 hours or so discussing just that thing, saying, "See, we told you all along, not gambling because there's no real world value." And the conversation I see happening both with that and with the casino situation with GTA Online, the same thing keeps getting said back and forth. I see the same thing happening with both conversations, so that's why I'm tying them together today, because they're very much related. Because what happens when both people in the industry, the people making the game, the media types, and now the Gambling Commission, what they're all failing to say, and to what is so blatantly obvious, is when they say that, oh, you can't cash this stuff out, therefore it's not actual gambling. The fact is, especially with it when it's right in your face here with this literal Grand Theft Auto Online casino, is that yes, you put the money in and there is no withdrawal. This is actually worse than a real casino. Let me explain. So, with Grand Theft Auto Online, if you're not familiar, you put real-world money into the storefront and they give you what's called a shark card. It's basically a credit card, and this will extend to you a line of money in the game. Now, you go and you buy your shark card, you get the money in the game, then you use that money to go and get chips in the Diamond Casino in Grand Theft Auto. And there, they got blackjacks. They got poker, they got roulette, they got slots, they got all sorts of fun actual games, real gambling mechanics, like actual in-your-face gambling mechanics that you can pay real money for, except you can never take the money out. You know how they say the house always wins? Well, that's just kind of a silly joke people like to say, because once in a while, sometimes the real people win. But in this case, no. The house doesn't just always win, only the house ever wins, because at the end of the day, when you put real world money into this, you can never take it out. This is worse than a real casino. And you can say, well, there's an M rating on the game, so no one under 18 is playing the game. Wow. Cool. No one under 18 is playing the game, right? Well, I'll be sure to explain that the next time I hear someone on the microphone who's clearly not 18 years old. I'll let them know that they should go get their parents' permission to play the game. We'll see how that goes. And I'm not even here to do a Save the Children campaign. What I want to do is just confront this ridiculous conversation head on, because everyone's saying the same thing. They're all feeling vindicated. They're doing their little victory lap, being like, "See, you silly gamers, we told you all along, this stuff isn't gambling." And now in the case of this casino, it's not a loot box. It's literal card slot machine gambling. That's literally what it is. And the same conversation is happening. Oh, see guys, it's not gambling because you can't cash it out. It doesn't matter that now this is not even a disguise. This casino is one gigantic loot box. And you can say, well, you put the money in, you put the money on your card, so once the money's in, it's gone, and you're just playing the game now. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true enough. But the fact remains, this is right in your face. This is clear. This is obvious. And still, all the people in the industry and the media is just cheering them right along, sitting there just waving the finger at gamers, being like, "We won. Neener, neener." That's what all these articles, that's how they're reading. Like, see, we told you, they got all the smug little headlines like, Gaming Commission rules again, blah, 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 blah. The problem is, no matter what any of them say, anyone who has two brain cells rubbing together knows what is exactly what's going on. This is gambling, pure and simple, except you don't actually ever really win. And the companies are using the loophole in the law that you can't cash out and just being like, see, this proves it. No, that means the law has not caught up to the point where it's worded to include your ridiculous schemes. That's the only thing it means. That means it's on the lawmakers to make changes here. Obviously, the Gambling Commission can't overrule the law in this regard. They can only rule on what they see right in front of them. They can't change the law. So, because of a technicality, the game industry and all of its media talking head pundits are doing a victory lap this week because of this. Because of a loophole technicality that got them off. And hey, if you want to go and play Grand Theft Auto Online and put real money into it to go and play the slots there, I look at it as the same way as people who go to casinos in the real world. If you want to just blow your money and never see it again, have at it. I don't get it. I don't get that thrill of gambling. I don't get that dopamine rush that so many people seem to get. But let's just be honest with the conversation here. I know that that's never actually going to happen because it's all about just, one side versus the other. And it's clear what side the media's come down on. It's media and game developers versus everyone else. And that's just how it's going to be. So it's always going to be the industry taking a dunk on gamers because we don't have any actual power here. We can stop buying stuff, sure, but there's always going to be people coming in that will just keep buying it anyway. And this is something else that I saw. I was listening to a podcast just this morning before I made this video. This is actually partly what spurred this video. I was listening to a podcast, and one of the hosts was talking about the loot box situation. And the point that was made, and then I saw this echoed down in the comments from multiple people. It's just sheer ridiculousness. The sentiment was, well, because so many loot boxes are sold every year, that means people enjoy them. That proves that people like loot boxes in games because so many are sold every year. And this is just so mind-numbingly stupid. This is such a specious argument. The fact of the matter is that so many loot boxes are sold is because so many games lock rewards and lock skins and lock weapons and whatever it is. They lock it behind loot boxes. Progression is tied in many games behind loot boxes. In so many games. So there's no... Well, people obviously like this stuff. People obviously love buying card packs in FIFA and Madden because they sell so many. No, people like playing online and building a team up, and to do so, they're forced to engage with the loot box mechanics. This weird thing, people enjoy playing video games, and people like certain things about video games, and they accept the fact that your companies continue to jam these things into the games, and that is the cost of them being able to play the game. And the notion that, oh, well, if you don't like it, you don't have to participate. What does it matter if I buy it? You don't have to buy it. How does it affect you? Once again, it does affect. It affects every gamer and every player. Because every time you buy something, it creates another data point. And they get millions and millions of data points that they look at and see exactly what buttons to push on us mentally, what triggers they have to set off, alarm bells ringing in our heads for us to actually go and spend real money. And the more data you give them, the more money you give them. The money's bad enough. But every time you buy, that gives them more data so they can streamline the experience down even more, withhold just a little bit more up to the edge right when they can get everybody invested to start buying. So yes, anyone who participates is still affecting everyone else. It's like, I know people who might be a little bit younger, maybe in their early 20s or younger, probably don't remember. Here in the U.S., we used to have restaurants where you could smoke. Every restaurant, you'd walk in, hey, party of four, would like that smoking or non? And then you'd go to whatever side. But there wasn't like separate rooms. They would just keep the smokers in one part of the place. It would be a smaller area. and they would just keep all the smokers over there. But inevitably, the smoke would waft over to the other side, and people didn't like it. And over time, lawmakers stepped in, and they said, hey, no more smoking in restaurants. It's ruining the experience for everyone else. And the smoker said, oh, but we want the cigarettes. You know, I love sitting down and have cigarettes. What's wrong with the cigarettes? I'm just over here with my cigarettes. They're non-smoking. It doesn't affect them. But it did, because the smoke wafts over, and the whole place still smells. It does affect every single patron in the restaurant, and it's the same thing with loot boxes. Now, obviously, smoking is a lot more serious of a situation than loot boxes. I'm using sort of an extreme example, but it's the same type thing. You have one segment of the customer base which is totally fine with it, and no one else over here is. No one else likes it. But the small group that likes the stuff thinks that they need to dictate it because it doesn't affect everyone else, but it absolutely does. So it's just all around, this conversation that I've seen the last couple of days has just been sheer and utter nonsense being peddled from the media. And then, of course, when the media says it, then that trickles down and you see it in the comment sections because people start buying into it. People hear these arguments and they say, on the surface, that sounds like it makes a little bit of sense. And then they just dismiss it. But if you look at these arguments for even 2 seconds, you can see all sorts of holes in the logic. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And I see the same stuff repeated again and again and again. And it's circling all the way back around into a vicious cycle this week with these 2 issues. The loot box and the gambling commission and this online casino. Because it's all connected. While we're at it, there's another ridiculous conversation I keep seeing had all around. And it's the one where, well, what does this matter that GTA has an online casino now? You can go online and play all sorts of gambling online and with real money. What's the difference? Well, the difference is exactly what the Gambling Commission said, and it's exactly what the industry said, and exactly what the media has been saying all week. The difference is that, yeah, when you gamble on an online site with real money, you can actually recoup the money. You can win your money back and then some. The possibility exists. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, with this casino here, it's all in Take-Two's pocket. You never actually win. There's never going to be any actual winning in this casino. That's the key difference. This is worse than a real casino. I mean, this is obvious, right? Anyway, that's it for me, Coach Toolshed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please subscribe if you want to stay in tune with the channel headed forward. And as always, keep it turned to 11.